moving to New York, the role that played, because at the time, and people, they kind of can't understand it now because they look at Chicago and they think, oh, wait, that's where Lil Durk's from.
Yeah.
Or that's where Chief Keef's from. And, oh, yo, Naye's from there.
Yeah.
But like, when you're coming up, it's really like, it's you and maybe Twister. And then Crucial Conflict is like a couple years after that. But this isn't like a well-respected place for hip-hop music. Mm-hmm. So coming to New York, the role that had, because I remember the line, and nobody argues you about it. You're like, I'm the Chi-Town's Nas.
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe he is. Right? Talk about the role that coming to New York and the influence, obviously getting around native tongue a little bit, what that had on you.
Yeah, well, it was, first of all, man, I'm like super grateful that I was just born and raised in Chicago, because it gave me something that I carry with me, that I think that's the authenticity and a love and just a down-to-earthness that I love. But New York is a mecca for bringing all these different people together, like bringing all different cultures. I think when you're from New York and you live it, you don't even see it from how great of a city it is, because there's not many cities that you can go to in the world and have this mixture of cultures, and it really blends naturally overall. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, so my foundation, it was hard being in Chicago and trying to get even signed or get heard. And once that happened, it was me and Twista. Shout out to Twista. And then, like you said, Crucial Conflict, those guys got out there. But I still wasn't like planted in the industry. I can remember going into my third album like, man, how am I going to make a career of this? Because I wasn't making a lot of money. I was, as Andre 3000 said, living check to check. You know, if you don't move your feet, then
I don't eat.
So we like
neck and neck.
So I was in that space. And people that I was, like when I would come to New York, I was like connecting with people, and with certain things would happen. Like when De La reached out to me, De La Soul reached out to me and said, be on this album. That was a game changer for me, be on this song. That was the first time I went to London.
The Business
on the Stakes is High album.
Yeah.
And funny story, they wanted Biz on that song, but he didn't show up or whatever, so they eventually called me, and I was super geek. And all my friends, it just was a big moment for me. Anyway, like being accepted and being out here on the New York scene, I started running into different people, and I was like, it's almost like it's being in the industry and going to the center of that industry. And like I'm in the music industry, but me deciding to move to New York was like, okay, now I might run into Primo, so that's how I can work with Primo. Or when somebody need me on this track, I'm around, like I'm here, you know, and you just never know the connections, but it's being in that hub of where the music was coming from, most of the music in the music industry. So moving to New York gave me that. Mm-hmm. And it also did open me up to open my mind up to different aspects of life. But I was building on that in Chicago. In Chicago, it gave me a great foundation. I wouldn't change the course of it at all.